Well, hi there, Capricorn. Thanks for joining me. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is my Angel Messages channel. Almost brand new, so welcome very much. I appreciate that you're here with me. So this is your new moon reading. This is for June 10th, 2021. In addition to being new moon, we are also having a solar eclipse. We are still in Mercury retrograde, and we're experiencing something that is called square Neptune. Now, I am not an astrologer nor astronomer, and so I don't really know what all these things mean, but I did consult with a couple of the experts. And so in general, it seems that this time with all these energies converging is a time where we are prone to mental confusion. So right now it's easy for somebody to deceive us, right? It's also a time, as always with Mercury retrograde, where communications are disrupted. So this is electronic, certainly, but it's also the spoken word, or certainly the texted word. It's really prone to misunderstanding right now, and so we need to be really diligent right now with anybody we're talking to. Certainly if you're making contracts and things like that, you can still do them. Just be more cautious than normal to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row and all your details fully understood between parties, right? So for your own self, this is a time to use absolute honesty. If you decide to try to be the one to deceive other people, it's going to come back and bite you. It's just not a good idea. Don't bother doing that. Always be completely above board in all your dealings. So with an eclipse and the new moon, in general, these are always good times for a fresh start, or just getting going on that new project or new job or something like that. It's a really great time for you to be questioning your old habits, old behaviors, belief systems, all those things, to change up what's no longer working for you, right? We grow, and so our beliefs need to grow as well. We need to change that up and make sure that we are still in alignment with what we're actually doing. So we need now to stay very open-minded, and to be patient and to be flexible with our world, what's going on around us, all those things, and certainly with our own selves. As we grow and as we change, we just need to, be really patient with ourselves. So, okay, so let's get into this new moon reading. So the unicorns cards wanted to come forward, and the goddesses. So give me a minute here, I'll just have a look and see what's going on for you for new moon of June of 2010. Pardon me, June 2010, I wonder where I got that from. June 10th, 2021. I'm a little behind, right? Okay. So it does look like you are getting started on a new project. Oh, hang on, I didn't turn my light on. Make it so that you can actually see these cards as I hold them up for you. There, that's better, hey? Anyway, so it looks like you are getting started on a new project, or, at least you're working towards it. You're taking steps, and that's perfect. Now is always the best time to get started, right? For some of you, it's a little further along in the, construction phase or whatever. And so that's perfect. For some of you, you're just getting going. So part of the time, this is feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. It's fine. Time passes way quicker than we realize. And just be persistent. Keep going. keep your eye on the end result all the time. Try not to get off on tangents and lose your focus. You know, it would be easy to have a whole bunch of different things that you want to do all at once, but you don't have the attention for that. You don't have the time for that. You don't have the money for that. So you need to focus on what the most important thing is to you. What is your priority and how you're going to achieve it, and keep going without tangents, no matter who wants to talk you into something else, right? Yeah, so I'm seeing that there are people who want to be a part of your creative process. And, you know, in general, that's a good thing. We like to have collaboration. We like other people's ideas, things like that, because no one person can know all the great things, all the best things for any project. But at the same time, these people want, not necessarily that they want to derail you. However, their ideas and their things that they're interjecting could cause you to lose your focus. So it's you that needs to make sure that you're keeping your focus. Yeah, keep your eye on the prize, basically, is what it's kind of saying. They're saying to you. Okay, so in relation to that, so this calls it make a wish. It is that, but it's also more than that. So what is it that you desire? What are you working towards? What's your big thing? And really picture that working out so well, right? Be confident that the best thing is coming, that it's working out, even though, you know, at this moment it feels like things are going so slowly and, you know, you have to work a long time on each step. You know, it feels like you're almost not making progress, you know, but truly you're making a lot of progress. And so exploring each step and taking your time with it and having some fun with that. So, you know, unicorns really want you to be playful. And they want you to explore your creative side and, you know, let things be not like reality always, right? Reality is kind of a hyped up thing. We think that that's all there is, but truly reality is created by what we create, right? So the more you envision what you want, the more you're likely to be able to actually bring it to fruition. And so that's what they're showing me. Yeah. So the bigger you can dream, the bigger you can achieve. Yeah. Okay. So where should we go next? Okay. So you have a lot going on here. So your pets, your animals, it could be livestock. It could even, they're showing me, you know, the wild animals, hummingbirds are coming to mind, birds in general, even the insects, the bees and things like that. Excuse me. Feel into those, you know, even the ones that you might consider a pest, mosquitoes, right? Feel into those and just see where they fit in the grand scheme of the world. And you'll understand that everyone, everything is here on purpose and for a reason, and we all have our own unique spot that exactly fits our size and shape, and that's where we fit. And without any one of those creatures or people or whatever, without any one of those, then there's a gap in the consciousness of the world. And so understanding that everyone fits exactly as they're supposed to. And so there's also, for a bunch of you, you have the ability to really understand the animals which are around you. And so spending time actually purposefully trying to communicate with them will be a great thing for some of you to do. You know, sit on the floor with the dog and see if you can tell what they're feeling right now. You know, it might not be what they're thinking, because thoughts in different types of animals are different from humans, right? But you may be able to be intuitive enough to understand what it is that's going on with them and what they want. You know, things, maybe they've been out of sorts lately, and you can find out what's going on. What do they need that they're not getting? Yeah, that's a really magical thing. So I'm being told that that message is only for some of you that will not resonate with. Oh, so I didn't even think to say this is a general reading, that not all parts of this will resonate with all people. And that's perfect. That's exactly as it should be. So take what resonates for you and leave the rest. That's for somebody else. Okay. Okay. So again, now this is just for some of you. Some of you have been trying to manifest, there we go, trying to manifest new love. Your true person, the one who you want to spend the rest of your life adoring. That person is within your realm now. You have been wanting, wishing for that, vibrating at that level, and now you're bringing to you that great love, that person who is yours. Let me just see how this feels. So I'm feeling, a tension kind of between the shoulder blades. So this is the people who are feeling that. Some of that tension has been because you're looking for this match, this vibrational match for you. And it feels like you've been wanting that person for a long, long time, and you're starting to lose faith that the person exists. No, indeed, that person is very close to you now. It's time to be very receptive, time to allow yourself to be a little vulnerable, while at the same time seeing the whole picture, It feels very much like, for some of you, there are two people coming in. One is the kind of the false one, and so it's possible you could get fooled by that person and be thinking that's the true love when really it's the other person. So be discerning, take your time. There is no rush. Seriously, there is no rush. Just being cautious, but still allowing yourself to be vulnerable to that person, because without being vulnerable, you can't know which one is the match and which is not, right? So they will show you that those people, they will show you in probably little subtle little ways which one is truly for you and which is not. And if you feel deep into your intuition, in your gut, and see which one of these people do you feel most comfortable with. We're not looking for sexual excitement. We're not looking for the one who can take you on a cruise. We're not looking for, the one with the biggest house or whatever. We're looking for the one who makes you feel the most comfortable on the inside of your gut feelings. And that is the one who is going to also be able to stir in you those other things, like the excitement and the longing to just spend time with them, no matter what you're doing or not doing, right? So that's how you're going to tell. And it'll take a little bit of time for that to become very obvious, because the false one is not necessarily bad. I'm not saying they're doing this on purpose. They don't realize that they're, there to take you off track. They are just there. They've been attracted vibrationally to you. And so they don't know that there's somebody else who is more perfect for you, pardon me. Also for them, right? So they're just looking for their match. That's all. So there's nothing wrong or malicious in this at all. It's just one is truer to you than the other. That's all. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, so love coming in. Woo. And so here you're at some point you're going to have to take a little bit of a risk and see, you know, which is the best. It's not only for a new you know, vibratory match person. It is that. It's also for other things because some of you, you know, you have your life partner already. Not everyone is looking for somebody, right? So that last card, the true love card, that's only for the ones who haven't yet found it, right? So this leap of faith, the ones who are still looking for their love, yes, you will have to take a leap of faith and show your vulnerability in order to actually understand which person is your match, right? But this also applies to the people who are getting started with a project, which might be you know, a new business. It might be looking for a new home or something like that. Like they're just telling me that there's so many people. It's almost any possibility, right? But in no matter what it is, there is somewhere there where you'll have to take a leap of faith. You can research till the cows come home, and you'll still have to take this leap of faith because it still will be, you know, several different options, right? And one will be the best for you, but it doesn't mean the others will be bad, right? Yes. So just taking that leap and trusting. So do it consciously. Put it out there. Talk to your angels and say, okay, I'm having to decide between these 2 or 3 or whichever things, and I don't know how to decide. I'm looking for the best answer, the one that matches me the most. And so I'm looking for your assistance to show me which things will fit best. And then once you've asked, then it's time to step back and get into the vibrational frequency of receiving. And so once you get the answer, then you trust that, right? And so that also is that deep gut feeling. It may be in your visual senses. You may get pictures of what's going to work best. You may hear words or somebody's voice. It could be your own voice. You could hear those things. Or you could just know. All of a sudden, you're just like, oh, that's the one. And you just know. So then you'll just trust that. But to get to that point, you'll have to, you know, leap and say, okay, here I go. I'm giving it a try. Okay. So we've talked about all this. And so to leave on a positive note, something very good is about to happen. Yes. And so it feels like this is kind of separate even. You know, it could be about this project. It could be about the true love. It could be about your animals. It could be just about any topic. So this is not specific to any one thing, but it's a wonderful surprise is about to come to you. And in the grand scheme of things, it may feel a little smaller than you were expecting. Like, don't build this up to gargantuan proportions in your mind. But it's really nice. And when you actually think about it, you'll realize that it is actually that big, you know, even though it's not what you've been focusing on lately. So it feels like, in terms of somebody who loves you, and, you know, not in a true love way, not even, you know, in a partnership way. Could be I'm not even sure, a slightly more distant family member, something like that. Somebody who really, really loves you and you haven't seen them in a long time. And you might get to see them or at least communicate with them in some way. And it'll feel really good in your heart center. That's what this is feeling like. Now, for some of you, that'll be what it is. For some of you, it'll be something different. You know, it's almost along the lines of, you know, when the person in the drive-through ahead of you pays for your order. It feels like that, which, like I said, it feels like kind of a small potatoes little thing in the grand scheme. But when you really, really look at it, that act of generosity and love towards you for no particular reason that you can come up with, right? Just because you are you, just because you are there in that moment, and there is no coincidence about that. And think about how good that feels. Somebody thought about you. Somebody unknown to you, or barely known to you in different cases, right? Thought enough of you to give you a goodwill gesture like that. How amazing is that, right? So it's a really good thing. And so there's many other examples we could use, but those are just a couple of them. So treasure that. Really hold that close to your heart and realize how important it actually is. So, what a beautiful reading. Okay, so let's do one card from the daily guidance. Oh, okay, 2 cards. Oh, okay. So, what do you desire? What do you actually desire? So it's time to get right down into the specifics within yourself. You might have to first go to what you don't want, and through discovering and through identifying specifically what you don't want, then you'll get to what you do want. Some of you already know exactly what you do want. Be specific, they're saying. I'm seeing a pad of paper and a pen. Write it down. What do you want? And keep that close to you. Keep that energy of that close to you, and then be prepared to receive it, right? And to take steps towards it. So you know what you're doing today. So we're back now to this keeping your focus on the prize, right? Your eye on the prize. Taking steps every day towards this. And I'm sure you've probably heard that before. A lot of the goal setting coaches will talk about things like that. But it's almost kind of the opposite. It's like everything you're going to do all day today, try and keep in mind, and every day, try and keep in mind, so is this action that I'm about to do, does this take me closer to my goal, or does it take me away from my goal? If it's taking you away from your goal, don't spend time on it. It's not worth your time. Your time is much better spent doing other things. So keeping your focus on what you actually want. Okay, and here is the opportunity to forgive. Now, we tend to think of other people who may have done something that that harmed us in some way. Really, this is mostly about yourself. For things like in the past when you did allow yourself to lose your focus, and so now you're not as far on your track as you wanted to be, forgive yourself for that. You were doing your best in that moment, and that's all you can do, right? And so when you go within and you identify what it is that you're upset with yourself for having done or not done, really get into how that feels. How did it feel at the time when you were doing that thing? And how does it feel now in hindsight? So get to the spot where you understand that you didn't do anything wrong. You were doing your best. And therefore, if this was anybody else in the whole world and you had this understanding, you would easily forgive them. Also ask your angels to help you with the forgiveness. And so then once you forgive yourself for things that you perceived you had done wrong, then it becomes, then it's like everybody else in the world who at one point you thought you needed to forgive, you no longer have to, because you no longer are holding any judgment against them. If you do find you still are holding some judgment against them, by all means, go through that process, that, what it was like then, what it's like now, and bring the understanding and the forgiveness forward. But then also look within yourself. What is it within you that requires forgiveness? Because as soon as you hold any judgment against anybody else, means you're also holding it towards yourself. So look within first, look without later. Okay, that's beautiful. So I'm going to leave that reading there. So Capricorn, if you'll hang on for another minute or so, I would appreciate your assistance to send love to the world in general. And so sending acceptance and sending compassion, certainly sending healing and health to every person, to all the water supplies, and to Mother Earth herself. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Capricorn. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will talk with you again next time.